Good morning, gentlemen. We're on our 108th segment of the Think Before You Speak series, the laws of Shemirat Halashon with clarity. Be'ezat Hashem, these laws, halachot, should be Leilui Nishmat, the Chafetz Chaim, Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha, should be Leilui Nishmat, Chaim Kanievsky, Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha, should be Leilui Nishmat, Yididi Avi, Reb Zechariah Wallerstein, Zechet Tzadik L'Bracha. And as well, these halachot should be a great zichut, v'hatzlacha, and shmirah, and beracha for all our bnei chabur that learn every morning. And these halachot specifically are dedicated for the Shmira Ma'aliyah and the Yeshua Gedalah of Chaim Davidov ben Chayesar. Okay. So, today we're talking about sensitive information. Now, I'd like to tell you a story that could be in the past you came across, specifically at the time that you were dating. You know, where you're walking down the block and you bump into a neighbor who says, "Hey, didn't you go to this and this yeshiva?" Well, actually, my daughter is dating a guy from that yeshiva. I'd like to ask you a little bit of information about him. And you stop for a minute, you think that the guy that they're asking about, your friend, you remember that he went through a very serious sickness in his younger teen years. And you're thinking to yourself, is that something that I should say? Now, I'm not talking about the type of sickness that the guy had a virus. I'm talking about a serious sickness. Something that was a life-threatening sickness. Something that, God forbid, might, chas v'shalom, possibly come back. So now, the halacha states that if you know that someone is asking you information about a shidduch for their son or daughter, about your friend who went through a life-threatening sickness, you are allowed to offer the information, even if they don't ask about it, even if they don't know about it. You are supposed to offer the information and tell them, I want you to check up on that they went through this and this diagnosis, lo aleinu, lo alechem, and thank God they recovered, but you should be in the know that they did actually have that in their past. Now, there are certain conditions that you're allowed to say this when bringing up an illness of the past, a serious illness of the past, when giving over shidduch information. The first thing is that it has to be a real illness. We already said that. The second thing is that you cannot exaggerate the person's illness or condition. You have to say it exactly the way it was and not more. Don't make it more than it is. You don't have to make it less, but don't make it more than it was. And the third thing is that the intention that you're saying it over has to be for the practical benefit for this person to consider going out with the person that had that history of sickness in their past. Because if you're doing it, God forbid, out of hatred or out of revenge, that you want to hurt the shidduch, clearly you're not allowed to do that. I do want to tell you that there's a big chidush over here. And this is something that to me was a wow. If the person asking you about your friend, you know that to this person, the illness that your friend had in their past wouldn't mean anything to them. And they would want their daughter to go out with them anyways. And you know this as a fact. How do you know? I don't know. Maybe they allowed their daughter to go out with other guys that had the same illness in the past. So you know for sure that this person would allow their daughter to go out with someone who had this type of illness in the past. Guess what? Then you're not allowed to tell them. Amazing. Amazing. And therefore, we should always only have health and happiness and be the ones to give over the good news about the healthy times of Klal Yisrael. Thank you for listening.